Good afternoon and welcome to the regularly scheduled City Commission meeting for Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. And joining us as guests today, and they are going to do a presentation later on in the meeting, we have representatives from the American Legion Honor Guard and the Henderson War Memorial Foundation. And if you would, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask our guests to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, if you would.
Absolutely. Starting, John. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have a call for attendance, please?
Commissioner Pruitt.
Here.
Commissioner Witt.
Here.
Commissioner Hargis. Present. Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
Mayor Staten.
Here. First up on the agenda, we have a proclamation for the Daughters of the American Revolution. If you would, please come up to the podium and she'll read the proclamation. I'm going to come out and present it to you.
Whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to the Constitution of the United States of America and to celebrate the 238th anniversary of its drafting on September 17th, 2020. And the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution enriches communities by protecting and preserving historic locations, fostering patriotism and love of the country, supporting charitable endeavors in schools, assisting veterans and the infirm, and encouraging historical research. And whereas it is the privilege and the duty of the American people to officially recognize and join the General Samuel Hopkins Chapter National Society Daughters of the American Revolution in the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, now therefore we, by virtue of the authority vested in us as the City of Henderson, on behalf of all citizens throughout our community, do hereby proclaim September 17th through the 23rd, 2025 as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to reaffirm the ideals of the framers of the Constitution in 1787 and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which privilege involves.
So, you're welcome. So I will tell you, every 2 weeks we come up here and we handle the business of the city. And sometimes for us, you kind of get lost in that. Former Mayor Davis knows that. You kind of get lost in that, and handling the city's business just seems so big. But you all come in every year and we present a proclamation, and it helps to remind us that we're just a small city in a big old country.
You're right.
And that we love our city and we love our country, and we support both of those very much. And it's my honor to present you all with this proclamation today, declaring next week your week. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
This is my friend, I'm Giselle Purdy, and this is my friend Jimmy Deal and my partner in crime with Daughters of the American Revolution. And so also I'd like to present you all with a little token. So this is a bell, because on Sunday, September the 17th at 4 o'clock, you're going to be hearing bells around town. And that is for celebration of our Constitution. So if you have a bell at home, if you go to church, ask them to ring their bell. If you have neighbors, tell them about this, because it's our duty as citizens to know about our Constitution.
That's right.
Thank
And if you're ringing the bell, somebody's going to ask you, why are you ringing the bell? So, you know what? That's a good way.
Good way. I'll take it.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, I've got family members.
Pass the word. But thank you so much again, and thank you all for letting us come. We are very appreciative. We were at fiscal court this morning, and this is something, we forget about our duties and responsibilities sometimes. And so we're just here to remind everyone of that.
Well, thank you so much for the
You're very
reminder.
welcome.
We
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
letting
Yes,
us come.
Yes, ma'am. Next up, we have recognition of new employees.
Sir, so if I could invite Mr. Bart Bowles and Mr. Kevin Capps up to the podium, please.
Thank you, Dylan. We have Mr. Kevin Capps here. He's our new utility operator, or utility locator. He comes to us after 27 years with the utility. He retired and then came back. So he brings a wealth of knowledge and just excited to have him. So yeah, it's a really good hire to have back.
So you left and then you came back?
Right.
So what brought you back?
Just bored sitting around the house.
Well, now you can just, your days can be filled with the exciting work of water utility. That's right. Well, thank you so much for coming back. We appreciate having you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, and next up, I'd like to invite Mr. Thomas Kinney and Miss Morgan Cunningham.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners, and City of Henderson. We bring you all the way from Slaughters, Kentucky, Miss Morgan Cunningham, the one and only, 24 years old, currently lives in Slaughters, Kentucky. Just got married in April of this year, so newlywed here. Experience in real estate and automotive industrial repairs industries, and she graduated from Ivy Tech with an accounting and business administration degree. So we are very excited to have her with us, and her enthusiasm already. She's been here since last Tuesday, and her smile as people come into the cemetery and just do different things for Parks and Recreation. I'll be careful I said that, right?
I'm sure you probably want to rephrase that for the people watching at home.
I didn't think of that one correctly, did I? So it's all good.
Your office is in a cemetery.
Yes,
So as
sir.
people come to your office, she has a big smile on her face. That's what I think
Some of them do, some of them don't.
There we go. So what are you going to be doing for the Parks Department?
I'm the secretary senior, so helping out in the office and with Thomas, and I'm excited with a new director, and all the staff has been very welcoming and helpful to me, so I'm very excited.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
She has to deal with me and Chris. That's what she'll be doing. Thank you.
That's all for this evening.
Good deal. And last up, we have a presentation from Henderson Veteran, it says Henderson, but Henderson War Memorial Foundation and American Legion Honor Guard are going to present to us right now. Mayor, you want to take that away, sir?
Yes, sir. And folks, bear with me. I'm used to just moving, so I'm not going to be in one spot very much. So it's all of you that they had to tie me in a chair up here for 4 years. So we're here to update the commission. And once again, good evening or good afternoon to everybody. We're here to update you and bring you up to speed on how far we progressed on our Veterans Park down on the river. Eventually, we'll be showing you a conceptual drawing. This gentleman right here, Mr. Skinner, has worked his fingers to the bone helping us out, getting this done research-wise and everything else. But we have submitted this drawing to the city so that it can be sent to all the different areas that it needs to be sent to for clarification, for anything, up to the EPA people that are up in Louisville, whatever, because of the condition of the property. Everything that we're proposing has to have different ideas looked at it, but he has been using Mr. Andy Rideout at Day's Garden Center for all the landscaping and horticultural things that he has added to his drawing, and what a blessing to have people like that in Henderson that are willing to step up and help our organization move forward with this. But we're also doing this so that and we've already been interviewed by the Parks Review Board that y'all have going on. We want to stay on their radar screen so that they know we're out there move forward, that this will probably get to them also. And if they have questions about it or have things, but they have met 4 or 5 people that are on our board and organization about what our aim and guidance is. So I guess the next thing is, who did you talk to about shooting a picture?
Whoever runs the IT.
Whoever runs the IT in the back room.
Right.
Yeah, okay, great. And it's large enough. Folks, I hope y'all can see that here too. This is, as everybody, you may not know, this is the old Henderson Municipal Power and Light site down on the river by the railroad tracks. And it is also a site that has been deemed to have, some contamination in the soil. But we have already met with the EPA people once, and we've been told that what we're doing, as long as we stay in daily touch with them, you need me to stay in front of the mic?
Yeah, please. That way the people at home can hear you.
I agree. We have been in touch with the EPA people, and this was done with a lot of their input from the preliminary drawings of the property. Tim knows more about that than I do, but I'm going to let him step up here and give you some ideas. But one of the things that we wanted to tell you, it's got different pods out there. You'll see them that will be different branches of the service will be covered there, or different war engagements. So there might be a World War II area, might be a Korean War area. There'll definitely be a Vietnam War area, because we have a separate Vietnam War memorial. It's a small one, but we still have a separate one that has to be done. So a lot of that's what Mr. Skinner has incorporated into his conceptual drawing. So I'm going to let him step up here and take the floor.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mayor. What you're going to see here is we've just got 3 drawings that are, again, is a very kind of beginning stage, very conceptual. The first one is just the overall park plan, and after several meetings with the committee and going through and everything, and the gist of it, we want to make sure that the park is used by the general public all the time, and we want to invite the public down there. It's not just strictly for a Veterans Memorial, although it is proposed to be used in that, especially in the month of May. And what you see here, I just want to draw some attention to on this overall plan. Like he mentioned, I grabbed a hold of Andy right out, and he was the expert in kind of locating some of these trees and everything. We want to leave some open spaces and everything so people can use the park, create some shade area, also create some landscaping as such that in the falls you have different colors, and we have a variety of trees in there, so we're not just one consistent tree, that kind of a diversity of everything, so it guards against any kind of blight that may come in and not wipe all the trees out. So what you see is you can clearly see the sidewalks that go around the park. One sidewalk, it kind of picks up on the Riverwalk Trail that runs along Water Street. It does have walkways that go out around to the overlook and the banks along the outer bank that looks out over to the river, and also meanders back into the middle. You'll notice the dark green areas with kind of the magenta color spaces. That's the areas that Tom was talking about, that what we envision would be individual war memorials for individual conflicts themselves, so World War II, World War I, and they have some of those already. The dark green areas behind those are more smaller berms that would just come up and maybe have azaleas and rhododendrons and things like that planted behind them, so in the springtime you will have some color that pretty easy to maintain, but that won't block the view of the river, and then they would serve as a really nice backdrop to those individual memorials. We wanted to get those out along the river so that when you come down Water Street, you can, if somebody's driving down or walking down Water Street, you basically take in the park, but also it draws the people to go back along there, and as they walk along that trail back there, they can see the individual monuments. But again, those darker green areas are just smaller 4 foot tall berms that have landscaping on top of them. And with that, you also notice that kind of in the center of the picture, there's the round feature that kind of comes off Water Street, pretty much across from where the distillery is going right now. We have a larger drawing of that area too, but that's a more formal dedication to some memorials and like that. So we can go to the next slide if you want to. It just rolls. I think, yeah, it's all one thing, so it may just roll up. There you go. Okay, what this slide basically is showing is, there we go. And what we want to do here was do a study so that in the month of May, if or whenever it came time to put out the memorial crosses, just determine was there enough area to take into the amount of crosses they have now, what kind of future growth would they have, what kind of growth would they have in the future. So the ones that are in red right now, and that's 6,220 crosses that's there now. That's approximately what they have currently that go up in Central Park. And those individual square grids are laid out in such there are 100 crosses per grid. So you can see we have some walkways and aisle spaces to get in there, as well as walking around the sidewalk. You can get in there. So the reddish area on this drawing are the crosses that they have now. The kind of purplish color area are crosses that they room for crosses into the future. And again, depending on how these are laid out and how they're arranged, they may grow in this area, may grow to smaller areas, and just they can arrange them in different ways. But again, this was a study to see how they could max out and make sure they had enough future growth. The crosses that are in the kind of purple area is another 3,960 crosses, so that brings you up over 10,000, and so that should suffice. They would be more the experts on that, but suffice for several years to come. And again, the trees will be there and grown, and so it won't be any different than Central Park. I mean, we don't want just a stark landscape with the crosses on it. So as the trees grow, we'll just have to work the crosses in around it and everything. But I think that's part of the beauty of it in Central Park anyway. So this would just be just pretty much in the time when the crosses are put up. And then we can go to the last slide, and it's just it's an enlarged drawing of what was in the upper right-hand corner, and that's kind of showing that formal area that comes in off the sidewalk. And at that point, we were proposing you would enter off that sidewalk and have some low walls that maybe have some inscriptions put in them that relates to the park. And its meaning, have some kind of archway that you have to walk in to go back to this round structure. And on either side, of left or right, Henderson currently has 2 Medal of Honor winners, and the potentially could be some monuments there, particularly for them. And then all of this is a paved area. It's the lighter gray is just more of a concrete sidewalk material. The darker gray would be pavers. And then the 6 different monuments around that are the individual branches of governments with the individual branches of the service, and with their particular flags for those flagpoles, and then in the center would be a United States flag, and then have a landscape area around that. So this would be more of a kind of a formal memorial space that would go into the center of the park. And again, these are all just kind of conceptual. We've kind of kicked it around, but mainly have this dedicated to the Veterans Memorial, but also have a park that is not static and it's active, and the citizens of Henderson can use it the rest of the time.
One of the things I want to add, though, is, of course, everybody's aware on the riverfront we have Husband Kimmel statue and flags, but we also have a layer of pavers there that are engraved that people have paid for to have their. And we're seeing deterioration from the water fountains. Sorry to say, we're seeing Admiral Kimmel used as a towel rack more than we would like, but the fountains are in place. But that's another thing that's sitting there. So we haven't incorporated that into this yet, but we will probably propose that all be moved over to this park and be incorporated into this walkway at some point as a avenue of heroes, I guess you would say, because he's already highlighted the 2 purple spots in the front there for our. We are getting ready to kick off our fundraising campaign. The foundation is to raise the money for 2 statues of our Medal of Honor winners, which will match the size of Husband Kimmel's statue. So you'll have 3 statues of honoring Husband Kimmel, Adam Skaggs, and Gary Littrell. So that's one of our initial projects too, to get it in line with the fundraising that we know we're going to have to do for this park too. But as you also see, the larger monument that we have in Central Park right now, that's the centerpiece of that park, it is constructed in such a way we're going to be able to break it apart. And when we were talking, if you ever have paid much attention, in the center where the flagpole is, or where the center thing is, island, that is the branches of the service. And it can be broken apart. The back wall is individual ones of each of the conflicts, the wars and everything. They can be broken apart. And so we'll be able to take this monument apart and spread it around and make it a multi-use thing instead of just one little focal point. And that's sort of why, as Tim said, in the middle, it'll just be a flagpole. Everything else is going to surround it, and we'll be honoring the branches of service here. And then as you said, the other things that were along the Riverwalk up there will be honoring the different conflicts that the United States has been involved in. And so it's just going to be a nice place for people to go have a leisurely walk, see a little bit of the history of Henderson. And that's another thing we haven't really got as far along with, is where there might be a informational area showing what Henderson's involvement in the wars was. You know, we do have history that goes along with our involvement, and I just happened to run across one of my father's papers of where he was being discharged and being automatically put in the reserves the very next day from World War II. And on that page were 74 Hendersonians being discharged on the same day and put in the Army Reserves the very next day. So we've done our fair share. There's been talk that as far as percentage-wise of population, Henderson was one of the largest percentage-wise participants in World War II, with the number of people that served based on our population. So we have a lot of history to celebrate here. I mean, our neighbor across the river, yes, they do too. And they're doing a good job of promoting it. If you haven't been to their war museum out on Highway 60 out by the airport, it's worth the visit, folks. But at the same time, we need to honor everybody here, plus those 6,300 crosses that they put up every year need to be given some dignified place to be. And we know Central Park, we've outgrown it. And of course, we're going to miss that shade. But Ms. Riles sort of has gone to the point of the trees he's suggesting are ones that grow fairly quick. So we should have a pretty park, hopefully soon after we break ground and get moving forward. But while Tim's here, any questions of what you saw in the 3 diagrams up on the wall?
Tom, I got one. Have you did any light estimates on what you're gonna need for completion of this?
Estimates for what? I'm sorry.
For funds, what are you gonna need to raise, or we might pitch in, or what, you haven't got any kind of?
Well, that's
You
going
got
to
that
be the
far?
next thing we have to get an estimate on, and then we'll come back with a cost-sharing proposal.
Okay.
And it'll be sharing. Did you get that on the microphone? Robert wants to share. Any other questions, please?
I think it's gonna be
No,
awesome.
don't be bashful.
I
Come
think
on.
it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I think what you got makes a whole lot of sense. I think that you're talking about incorporating trees and shade into the park, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do.
Now, there's always been a question, we haven't resolved the answer yet. We've got several different suggestions, and of course, because it always pops up, people say, well, what are we gonna do on Memorial Day? You know,
With the parking.
you fill the park up with crosses, and there's no shade, no place to put. Well, we've talked to different things of possibly just coming back to Central Park, where we have our program, and just do the program there, just out of, that's where everybody needs to go. We've also talked about just going down the street to Audubon Mill Park and setting up a stage under those trees down there And that way, people are still within walking distance of the crosses, so they can still visit that day and go back and forth. So those things are still things that, they're down the road, but we're thinking ahead. We're trying to be progressive. And also, that this park is going to be available to any organization. Right, it's a city park, so it's got to be available. We want people, but it's also, our group is looking at other events that we can celebrate there. It doesn't necessarily have to be just Memorial Day. It can be Veterans Day. It can be the 4th of July. That can be part of the 4th of July celebration, you know. I know y'all are going to have to find another place to shoot fireworks, but, you know, that's a pleasant problem to have. Of course, and we can always have a bourbon party pretty soon, you know.
Is there, I do have a question. So does the park lend itself for temporary installations? And specifically what I mean is, like, if we were to ever want, or if you were to ever want to get a traveling wall, for example, does the park have a location where we could locate a temporary installation like that?
Yeah, I would think so. And, you know, it was really important that we have the landscaping done, but still leave enough open area around there that the biggest part of the discussion we had, as far as we want to make sure that the general public in Henderson will use this park. That will come down there and have lunch, want to have family week. So I'm sure you're going to add, you might add a gazebo, you're going to have some tables in there, you're going to have benches out around the thing. But, you know, eventually I would love to see where you've got the light bollards that come down the river walk would actually go out at least around the pathway that goes out across around the river, around the perimeter. And then you have enough space, open spaces in there, that if you had a temporary 1 month exhibit or 3 month exhibit you want to pop up, we want to leave that in there. But it's the big discussions with the group that it's very important, even that it's going to be a Veterans Park, Memorial Park, that we want to attract other people to use it so that future generations can see this and understand what went on and use it kind of as a learning experience and not just a park that only the veterans are going to use or they're going to use this. We want everybody to be involved with it and, you know, have input into what it is. So this is just a conceptual marker, something to throw on paper and look at and everything, but there's been a lot of discussion and about not just strictly being for that. So if you were to have a pop-up art exhibit or something else that would attract people down there, we want to leave open space to do that.
And he says that, but one of the things that, and I hope we can change the focus a little bit, but you know, schools have gotten away from talking about wars. And so we are raising generations that don't know what the history is of what the World War II, World War I people sacrificed so that they could be sitting there playing with their phone all day or playing video games. But that schools maybe be able to go down there and have a history lesson. This war here, that war there. See the statues of 2 Medal of Honor winners that were willing to get out there and, you know, to see it, but also maybe see pictures of 6,000 some odd crosses of people who signed up with knowing, hey, they may not come home. You know, right here. They signed up. And we thank them every day.
There'll be a little bit of time for those trees to grow, but we're not talking about starting little tiny trees anyway. We talked with Andy about that and at what level trees we could put in that, you know, within a reasonable amount of time, 10 years or something, you start having some full growth on these things, and it'll move fast. You know, we all know it moves faster than you think it does. And so the important thing is just get the right kind of trees in there and have a diversity. And I think it can be beautiful as far as coming down along the riverfront and have the trees trimmed up high enough that it doesn't block the view of the river and everything, but not so dense that we want them spaced out enough that they all grow very well and things like that. And so Andy was very instrumental in naming the particular kind of trees that were native to this area and would work real well, and they'd be nice trees, be pretty trees. So,
and believe
we thank him.
The age of our group of the War Memorial Foundation, and sorry to say, guys back here that, God bless them, lay every veteran to rest in this city with pride and honor. We're not gonna be here forever and ever and ever. We want to get this thing done and have the next generation. And we're gonna count on Dylan Ward to stay on top of this because, other than, I don't, just so you may be younger, are you younger than Dylan? Oh, okay, all right. We're counting on both of y'all then, because I know how old everybody else is. Well, no, Kelsey, yeah, Kelsey, I'm sorry, Kelsey, I didn't mean to offend you. But, this group is so committed to getting this done, and when we've been meeting and going over it and tugging on him, and Tim's been very gracious with us with doing this, and so is Andy Rideout does. So I think that pretty much, unless you have more questions, we don't want to take any more of your time. We just want to be on your radar screen. And also, Dylan, if that Parks committee that y'all got going, if they need additional information from us, we'll be glad to meet with them again.
Sounds good. We'll probably get that arranged in the near future.
Okay.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank your IT guy for plugging us in back.
All right, next up on the agenda is we have a consent agenda.
They gotta be out to
The consent agenda contains the minutes of the August 26, 2025 regular meeting, Resolution 90-25, resolution accepting human resources report dated September 9th, 2025, and approving all actions contained within, Resolution 91-25, a resolution authorizing the Henderson Fire Department to apply for the Kentucky Fire Commission Thermal Imaging Camera Grant, and Resolution number 92-25, resolution authorizing participation in Kentucky Pride Litter Abatement Program.
All right, we'll give them just a second more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom. Each and every one of you. Thank you.
I got it all figured out. Good to see you.
Before we get a motion, is there any item that any commissioner would like to pull for further discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve, please. We have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Witt?
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis? Aye. Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Staten?
Aye. Next up, we have a second reading of an ordinance amending job classification and pay plan.
Ordinance number 26-25, ordinance amending job classifications and pay plan, and ordinance approving amendment to job classifications and pay plan for the transit mechanic supervisor.
We have a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Witt?
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis? Aye. Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Staten?
Aye. Next up, we have an ordinance pertaining to job classification and pay plan.
Ordinance number 27-25, ordinance amending job classifications and pay plan, ordinance approving amendment to job classifications and pay plan for non-hazardous duty positions, fire hazardous duty positions, and police hazardous duty positions.
We have a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Have any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Witt?
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis? Aye. Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Staten?
Aye. Next up, we have a municipal order approving a memorandum of understanding.
Municipal order number 62-25, resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between Henderson County Schools and the City of Henderson regarding the Fire Science Pathway Program.
Do we have a motion to approve, please? Do we have a second?
Second.
The Fire Science Pathway is it's a really neat program they just started this year. We just did a new episode of the Municipal Matters podcast just came out, and it was a big feature of that. And by the way, Casey, Chief Dixon Casey did a really good job. If you get a chance to go listen to it later, he was wonderful. But anybody have any questions or comments? I mean, it's something they're doing at the high school. They're going to be able to do just about everything to be trained to be a firefighter other than live stuff that they can't do because they're underage while they're at the high school. I think it's going to be really nice. Any questions or comments or anything? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Witt?
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis? Aye. Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Staten?
Aye. Next up, we have a municipal order for the CAD system.
Municipal order number 63-25, municipal order accepting the proposal from 10-8 System Solutions for the purchase of a computer-aided dispatch system for Henderson 911 Communications in the amount of $248,505 with $130,000 of the purchase price to be paid through a state grant and the remaining $118,505 to be split 75% by the city and 25% by the county, contingent upon approval by the Henderson County Fiscal Court.
We have a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
John, do you know that, I'm assuming they approved it this
They
morning?
did.
Yeah. Does anybody have any comments or questions? I think Jordan's out in the audience. Yes, ma'am.
So if you all recall, last year we did request your approval to apply for the Kentucky 911 Services Board grant, just as a reminder. And we were granted $130,000 of this $248,505. So just like the resolution says, that leaves the remaining project funds $118,505, which will be split 75-25 with the city and county. So the city's portion will just be $88,878.75. I went and read this at fiscal court this morning, which was approved for their amount of $29,626.25. So we did contract with federal engineering, if you recall that as well, just to make sure that this was a good fit for everyone involved in the project, as far as law enforcement, fire, EMS, and they did agree that this is very fitting for all of our requirements. So we are looking forward to moving ahead, and we're requesting your permission to go ahead and move ahead. So if anybody has any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer.
Did they treat you nice at the other building this morning?
Yes, yes.
Good. I just didn't know if you needed us to follow up with them in any
Nope.
manner. Okay. Anybody have any comments or questions or anything? I think we're good. Thank you,
All right,
ma'am.
thank you.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Don Kelson.
A couple of things.
So, before Steve and I talked to you about tiny home, I did want to ask you all about, and Art here, back in 2014, HWU, as part of their storm sewer separation, purchased a property on Julia Street. It's 79 Julia Street, and as in 7-9, but that's one lot. And the CTE, when the HWU was finished with it, we gave it, the city, because we own the property that HWU owns, gave it over to the CTE unit at the high school, because at that point their CTE had home building as a skill set, and they used to build homes. You probably remember that. They used to build homes once a year. They build one home, and so HWU and the city in partnership gave that to the school system. And in that deed, there was a reversion that if a house wasn't built within 2 years, the school system agreed to deed it back to the city and the county. They no longer have that program. It's a vacant lot. They are looking at deeding it back to us. Habitat is very interested in using that property. And so the question that we have, and it's also contingent on HWU because this was a joint property, was if you all would be agreeable to accepting that back from the school system and then deeding that over to Habitat for economic development purposes. And if you all are, and HWU is, we'll bring that back to you in a municipal order, so.
Well, I think what she's looking for is a indication of interest. Yeah, is anybody against it? Everybody good?
Great.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, well, HWU has their municipal.
Monday.
Yes. So if that's all good, we will bring that back to you either the next meeting or the first meeting in October. Thank you. So that's the easy one. So as you all know, Kentucky is grappling with a shortage of affordable homes. And I sent you all a memo along with the proposed ordinance on Friday. The shortage has gotten to the point that the legislature has created the Kentucky Housing Task Force, and Robbie Mills, Senator Robbie Mills, is a co-chair of that committee. And what they're really doing is looking at ways to make affordable housing more reachable and looking at alternative housing that is more reasonably priced that people can get into. And one of the areas that they're looking at, and we will be bringing you more zoning changes because they're changing the law on that. I know Mayor Staten with KLC is very familiar with that. But one of the things that they're looking at alternative housing is tiny homes. And currently we don't have a tiny home ordinance in our zone. And Steve has had several people come and looking to put in as tiny homes in our community, mainly in manufacturing home areas, but also in AUG. So we looked at that, and that's what we want to talk to you all about today. And I just wanted to remind you that the way that zoning works is we originate this, you all look at it, if you all feel good about it, then you all vote to send that to the Planning Commission. Planning Commission has a public hearing, and then it comes back for 2 more votes. This is our first tiny toe into the alternative housing areas. I am sure we will be back with other proposals, but this is our first one. So, sorry. Well, I'm just going to feel the. So, our proposal is to include a definition of tiny homes in our ordinance. And that would be a single-family dwelling unit constructed in compliance with the Kentucky Residential Building Code. It would be between 120 and 800 square feet. It will be built on a permanent foundation. It won't be on a chassis. It will be on a permanent foundation. It'll be an independent living facility, and it will be required to have the same utilities and all other permitting requirements that any other home would be. And that's a pretty standard definition for a tiny home. Any questions? No? So, I've already talked about that. Well, where's the rest of the... There's more on there. I don't know why it's not. Dylan?
It's skipped.
Yeah, it skipped a whole bunch.
No, yeah.
Thank you.
That's the slide you're looking for?
Yes, thank you.
Just tell me when you're ready.
Thank you. So, what we would do is make tiny homes a permitted use in PUDs, planned unit development districts. Recognize that with a planned unit development district, the entire district, the entire development goes to the Planning Commission. So all parts of that would be approved through the Planning Commission. And so any restrictions or any concerns, Planning Commission would take care of that as part of their process. Our manufactured home districts and residential subdivided manufactured home districts. If you all remember, about 2 years ago, you all created that zone because of Carter Drive. We had a subdivision in that used to be in the county that came into the city, and those mobile homes, those individual lots are owned separately, and we created that zone to help them be able to update that area. So it would be allowed in those two, so those would be permitted. So if you came in to Steve and asked for a building permit, and you were in any of those areas, he would go ahead and work through the building permit with you. For conditional use, it would be a conditional use in R3, which is residential medium to high density districts, and those are smaller lot sizes. So it would actually give some flexibility to R3s, and then ARD. So R3 and ARGs currently are allowed manufactured homes, or what we used to think of trailers, as conditional use. So we followed what we did with that for conditional uses on those. So those would be the areas at this point that we would permit tiny homes that would follow what we do for manufactured homes. So any questions on that? All right. And this is kind of what I covered at the beginning, is that the reason that we're looking at this and it's becoming more of an issue in Kentucky is it's a shortage of affordable housing. I do want to say, this isn't unique to Kentucky. This is across the country. So do you all have any questions for us? If not, we need a motion to send this to, if you all are agreeable, the Planning Commission so that they can advertise it for a public hearing at their October meeting.
Don, before you go,
Sure.
I went over in Evansville, I don't know if anybody else remember, they took storage containers and they built 2 houses on the west side. I went over and looked at them. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, you all approved storage containers as residential last year.
I don't know, if you ever get a chance, I don't know, forgot that little street, but they got 2 storage containers, houses that they built, and it would blow your mind what they did inside and outside with those. And they're thinking about tearing that neighborhood down, rest of it, and doing more of those.
Yeah, you all addressed that last year, so you all were actually ahead of the curve on that one.
Do anybody else have any questions for Dawn? I will entertain a motion to send this to Planning Commission for further review. Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt, Commissioner Hargis, Commissioner Thomas, Mayor Staten.
Hi. Just as a side note, sometime in the next week or two, city staff and economic development planning and a couple of other people are going to be sitting down to meet on specifically on affordable housing, and to talk about ways we can try to inject 250 to 500 new houses that are 900 to 1,200 square feet into our inventory in Henderson, so that we can try to beef up the amount of houses that we have that are actually considered starter homes or affordable for people when they first start out. Do we have anything on the city manager's report today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any city commissioner comments today? Okay, I've got a couple of appointments before we go into executive session. The first one I want to present is on the Civil Service Commission. Chad Phillips. His term was up in June, and we need to fill that position. He has expressed interest in wanting to continue in that, so I am going to submit Chad Phillips for renewal to the Civil Service Commission for a 3-year term. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis, Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have 2 on the Code Enforcement Board, and I'm following the same route here. We have Bill Dixon for a 3-year term. He has expressed interest in wanting to continue. I've gotten really good feedback from him. Also, Tim Skinner, who we heard from earlier, his term was up, and he has expressed interest in continuing. The board has expressed interest in wanting him to continue. So I'd like to submit Bill Dixon and Tim Skinner for a renewal of a 3-year term apiece. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis, Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. And lastly, for today, on the Henderson City County Planning Commission, XR Royster's term was up, and we need someone to fill a 4-year term. For the Planning Commission, we kind of have a fairly lengthy list of people that are wanting to be on the Planning Commission, and so we're wanting to try to get a few of those people into the rotation. And so I'd like to submit Kurt Hamilton to fill that role for a 4-year term on the Henderson City County Planning Commission. Do we have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis, Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Thank you. I have a need for executive session, please.
The commission on executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810, paragraph 1, subsection B, for deliberations on the sale and/or future acquisition of real property in the vicinity of Water Street and Green Street and First Street and Fifth Street, and pursuant to KRS 61.810, paragraph 1, subsection G, discussions between a public agency and a representative of a business entity, and discussions concerning a specific proposal if open discussions would jeopardize the siting of this business.
Sounds like a long one. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
We are going to stay in here for this executive session, and it probably will take us a little bit of time. I don't think we're coming out with any action. There's not going to be any action after the executive session.